Joe Rogan becomes the latest celebrity to blast Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they fucked up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit. And they're like, you were a key part of this.
This is what you get, though.
Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, I'd love to work with Blake again.
So what was it like working with Blake Lively on the set of It Ends With Us? Justin Baldoni dropped a number of text messages with crew members detailing just how difficult.
Ryan Reynolds, known for his sharp humor and charming personality, is reportedly unsettled after Joe Rogan unleashed stunning allegations about his wife, Blake Lively. According to Rogan, Lively has been working with a secret motive that might threaten Reynolds' reputation and career. The dramatic disclosure has sent tremors through Hollywood, leaving fans curious about what mysteries could be hiding beneath the surface of their apparently ideal marriage. As rumors grow, many are keen to discover the reality behind Rogan's daring statements and how Reynolds is managing the sudden uproar.
And ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement?
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise. The whole thing's crazy. And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But
He
that's
should.
what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. It was like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right,
Dude,
enough.
he posted the receipts.
Oh,
he's
the
like, oh,
receipts are
remember our
crazy.
text exchange? Bah, bah,
Well, how about
bah,
she told
bah.
him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding?
They're fun
And then
ass.
part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it, because everyone just bows
Because everyone's
down.
scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list. Like, they're the queen
Oh,
of the
like it's
king.
20
Rogan attacked Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, stating that they messed up by getting entangled in a legal clash with Justin Baldoni. According to Rogan and Brandon Shaw, Lively allegedly tried to seize control of a film series that Baldoni owned. They explained how the franchise, which was adapted from a collection of novels, originally belonged to Baldoni, but Lively and Reynolds reportedly leveraged the Me Too movement to force him out.
Joe's spot on. Brandon and Joe are spot on, and it's just encouraging to see more big personalities, outlets, celebrities just talking about it realistically and not the way Blake and Hollywood is trying to spin it, which a lot in Hollywood are. Now, clearly Joe's not afraid. He says what he wants. He always has. But still, it's still a massive, big platform. And to see him out there talking about it honestly and actually sharing the proper facts can't help Blake and Ryan. They must not like seeing such big personalities and people with so much sway, but being out there calling it out for what it is, because let's be honest, Hollywood doesn't like that. They don't like us being honest. They don't like us telling you the truth. They try to to massage everything into their narrative.
Ongoing legal fight between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is intensifying, with their lawsuits against each other scheduled to go to trial on March 9th, 2026. As major figures like Ryan Reynolds, the New York Times, and publicist Leslie Sloan attempt to distance themselves from Baldoni's escalating $400 million defamation and extortion suit, Judge Louis J. Lyman recently labeled the case as a battle between PR firms.
Now, Baldoni's lawsuit is 179 pages, so in case you don't have time to read through it all, I want to read you a direct quote from the complaint that essentially summarizes everything that Baldoni is alleging. He says, "Lively wields immense power as one of the world's best-known celebrities. She set out to destroy plaintiffs' livelihoods and businesses if they did not bend to her incessant demands, and when they refused to give way, she did exactly that, accusing them of foul and reprehensible sexual misconduct." Now, I reached out to Baldoni's attorney, who tells me that they have copious amounts of text messages and emails and other evidence that they say proves that Baldoni did nothing wrong. I reached out to a representative for Blake and Ryan. They have not responded yet.
So Blake Lively files to dismiss $400 million lawsuit, calling it an abuse of the legal system. But what does this mean exactly? Let's break it down. So this actually isn't headline news. Just this week, Ryan Reynolds also filed to dismiss the lawsuit, but what does it mean? So this is specifically referring to Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against them. They want the judge to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit against them, like saying, hey judge, we don't deserve to be sued. Can you please just get him away from us? Her publicist Leslie Sloan and the New York Times have also filed motions to dismiss, but why is this so important right now? Because the judge just settled the protective order dispute, which means the next phase is to move into discovery, which means digging up the text messages, digging up the emails, deposing people, Taylor Swift. And along with a motion to dismiss, we have Leslie Sloan and the New York Times, and presumably next will be Blake and Ryan, are filing a motion to stay discovery, meaning they don't want to move into discovery just yet until the judge decides on all of their motions to dismiss. Long story short, it's a delay tactic. It seems like they don't want to move into discovery, probably because discovery is going to get very messy. Again, the text messages, the emails, we're going to get into all the records. We're going to get into the depositions. Taylor Swift, Hugh Jackman, Bradley Cooper. You know for a fact, Brian Friedman is coming for all of them in the depositions. Now, why might Khaleesi and her dragons want to delay the discovery process? One theory is that we have another simple favor. The official premiere is coming out soon, so we may not want to taint that any further, right? Oh, but there's a bigger reason we may want to delay this process. This very, very messy process. Bigger than another simple favor, Ryan Reynolds' company is about to go public. Sounds like a very lucrative deal. Now, we wouldn't want to hurt any chances of a really big sale by having messy details about this messy lawsuit come out. Might also be why Ryan Reynolds came out so hard, doubling down on calling Justin Baldoni a predator in his motion to dismiss this week. I don't know, just a theory, but the timing's a little convenient. Am I right? Of all of them, I would say the New York Times has the strongest chance of getting their motion to dismiss granted because there are special privileges that the press does have. And we're learning how they, in my opinion, abuse those privileges. But they have the strongest case in a motion to dismiss, in my opinion. But we'll see. I doubt Blake or Leslie Sloan or Ryan Reynolds will get dismissed. The New York Times might, but I'm predicting Brian Friedman's going to come back swinging pretty hard to keep them in this. We'll see.
However, Joe Rogan has stirred the pot by ridiculing Reynolds for his March 18th dismissal motion, hinting that the Deadpool actor and Lively had hidden intentions in their involvement with It Ends With Us. Rogan theorized that the Hollywood power duo planned to take over the entire movie franchise, though no concrete proof backs this claim beyond Baldoni's own sarcastic comments.
Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, has just shot back at Blake Lively's motion to dismiss. Blake is abusing the legal system. 3 exclamation points. Brian Friedman tells TMZ Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system. Friedman says stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda.
Court of public opinion has already spoken. Everyone's upset at Blake Lively. They're upset at Ryan Reynolds. She's a unique defendant in this case where she's going to be able to use this brand new shiny law. There's not a whole very broad, and the way that it's been given, I mean, I have to think that Justin Baldoni's team is looking at this. Of course, they're going to come out publicly and say this is a bunch of nonsense. You know, this is not a big deal. But if I was the lawyer representing Justin Baldoni on this would be a punch to my gut today. I would be going, uh-oh, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah, it's a legal judo move for sure on the part of Lively and Baldoni and Friedman and their team. They got to take it very seriously. And I'm sure that they're going to have arguments and they're going to mount a good defense.
The Ho Mandal Does Stuff podcast, hosted by comedian Hoy Mandal and his daughter Jacqueline Schultz, recently aired a segment titled Dr. Phil Weighs In on Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively. In this episode, comedian Adam Ray impersonates Dr. Phil to jokingly analyze the ongoing legal conflict between actors Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. The impersonation provides a funny spin on the situation, adding a lighthearted angle to the grave accusations involved.
Whose side are you on?
Well, Baldoni looks like what's the word? He's got like a. You remember going to school with that kid that always raised his hand real quick in school for extra credit?
Yeah.
But then he also hit on the recess teacher. Remember? And she was 35 and he was 12.
Right.
But she still was like,
well, my husband's gonna be gone next week, so maybe come over and make him play kickball. But
now I remember. Yes, I do remember.
Baldoni was the hot kid that could fuck a teacher. So he's got that in his head on a movie set, which is, as Gizmo said, yeah.
Lively's complaint details several examples of alleged misbehavior by Baldoni during the filming of It Ends With Us, accusing him of creating a hostile work environment. The allegations include showing inappropriate material, openly sharing, personal intimate stories, and making uninvited comments about Lively's body and weight. She further asserts that after raising her concerns, Baldoni and his production company, Wayfarer Studios, launched a vengeful smear campaign in an effort to ruin her reputation.
Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment was not on my 2024 bingo card, but here we are. In Blake's lawsuit, she is alleging there was a meeting that included her husband, Ryan, where she demanded no more showing of nude photos or images of women to Blake, no more mention of Baldoni's alleged previous porno addiction, no more discussions about sexual conquest in front of Blake and others, no further mentions of cast and crew's genitalia, no more inquiries about Blake's weight, and no more further mention about her father who passed away. It goes on to say no more adding of sex scenes and oral sex or on-camera climaxing outside of the scope of the script that she approved. Justin's lawyer basically said this was Blake's attempt to fix her negative reputation. As we know, this last year, she went from being a Hollywood sweetheart to basically being disliked by the fans.
Meanwhile, Hassan Minhaj, who portrayed Marshall in It Ends With Us, tackled speculation regarding on-set friction among the cast in an interview with Esquire. He stated, "I can't speak to other people's experiences, but everyone was very professional and kind to me. It was a great experience, and everyone was wonderful." Minhaj expressed shock upon hearing about the alleged disputes, noting that he was unaware of any such problems during his time on set.
The only It Ends With Us cast member that still follows Justin Baldoni has made a comment about all of the backlash the movie received, and some of the drama between Justin and Blake. Hassan, who plays the husband of Jenny Slate's character, said that he can't speak to anyone else's experience, but he said that his experience was that everyone was professional and easy to work with. He said it was lovely and everybody was lovely, and afterwards he just ended up feeling a bit disillusioned and confused about everything that was happening in the news. He said it was a very strange, bizarre year, and that as a comic he was definitely laughing at a lot of moments, which we can totally understand. This already adds to the weirdness that was going on within the cast with Jenny Slate just ignoring questions about Justin. Then Brandon Sklenar's comment about Blake and defending her. I feel like Hassan is giving us an inside look at what it was really like. He even said everybody was professional on set, basically denying that Justin was ever unprofessional. But I don't know, let us know what you guys think in the comments.
The legal disputes surrounding the film It Ends With Us have escalated, with crisis publicist Jed Wallace filing a $7 million defamation lawsuit against actress Blake Lively. Wallace, owner of the Texas-based firm Street Relations, alleges that Lively wrongly accused him of masterminding a digital smear campaign against her, causing significant damage to his reputation and business.
I promise you, I've been trying to think of other things to talk about, but another day, another file. And this actually has to do with one of the most interesting aspects of this entire case. Blake Lively is now being sued by Jed Wallace of Street Relations, Inc. He has said that she has cost him millions of dollars in reputational harm and is suing her for defamation. Lively's counsel released a statement saying that this is just someone else that's trying to sue her into oblivion for speaking out, and that they are confident that this will get dismissed, which I find that to be really interesting because this is someone that they alleged in her original complaint was really responsible or had a part in allegedly the whole astroturfing, because they alleged that Wallace was responsible for planting negative comments and negative story.
If Joe Rogan's claims are accurate, what could this mean for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's future?
Which it was interesting.
Is there a
that her
hidden
defense
agenda at play,
basically was like,
or is this
is
just
nothing, it'll
media
get
hype?
dismissed, yada, yada, yada,
Drop your
because
thoughts below.
In her filing,